It's Allie and Lindsay. We're back with another Make and Take installment for you today. Our theme this week is St. Patrick's Day. So like usual, I'm going to present one activity creation and Lindsay will present a second one. I think Lindsay's going to kick us off today with a printable activity, right, Linz?
I am. So I wanted to do a pattern activity today, and I am wearing my green. I'm going to keep a green theme today for my St. Patrick's Day themed pattern activity. So I'm logged into my account now. I'm going to go ahead and click the My Boardmaker button, as always when creating a new activity, and I'll come down here to Create Activity, and I'm just going to type in the search pattern, and I am going to do complete the pattern. I just wanted to make sure. Yep. Okay, complete the pattern and hit select.
And Lindsay, if you had hit the show sample button, remind me what would have came up and generated.
So it's a really great button. It shows you what the completed activity looks like if you were to do it. So it gives an example. So I know what it looks like. I didn't bother hitting that today. But if there is any template in there that somebody doesn't know what it would look like or why they would use it, it's a great tool. So you get that idea.
Awesome.
Okay, so I know I always harp on the same themes. When you're in the editor, always make it full screen and always open your page tabs here so you see what you're working with. So I know right off the bat I have 2 pages here. I have my actual pattern, and like you mentioned before, this is a print activity, so I have my second page where I fill in the options. So I would cut these out to fill in anything empty in my pattern up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna manipulate this a little bit, and let's make this my title. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh. And I'm gonna come over here, change my font. Camera a little too so I can actually see what I'm doing here.
Yeah, definitely get a good angle on yourself while we record.
On myself?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a bad angle?
No, you look good. You look great.
I'm looking, I thought I wanted to, Irish Grover, that's the font I wanted to do.
It's very appropriate.
Yeah, well, I just like to be in theme, you know? I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. And then we have our actual instructions here. I'm gonna not do that, obviously.
What's happening?
Sorry, I'm having some technical issues. And here I will do complete the pattern, fill in the missing items in each row. Okay, so that snaps to the center for me. I'm going to change the font there as well.
Lindsay, you typed right into that box, but it looks like you could have typed into the properties panel as well, right?
I could have, yeah. It's really just preference. I'm used to just editing in here. Occasionally I will use this, but it works the same. Okay, so now I'm going to start my patterns before I get into kind of changing the background and making it look fancy. So I'm gonna do a really simple one. Let's just do, we have a symbol for the Irish flag, but I think it's actually under Ireland. So I'm gonna just type in the word Ireland and see what comes up here. Yep.
There it is.
There it is. And I'm gonna select it and hit enter. I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna do it two symbol pattern here, and I'm gonna have to do that for each one. So let's do, here I'll do clover. And I'll pick that 4-leaf clover. For the luck of the Irish.
And it looks like you've elected just to have the symbol only in the blank. You're losing
So I think this template is actually like that by default. But if I wanted to have the label show as well, I could change that right here in the properties panel. But by default, it's symbol only.
That's what's so nice about the templates is they're huge time savers because they're pre-formatted, but you can do some customizations as well.
Absolutely.
One more clover.
One more clover, and then this line is done. Okay, now let's start our second pattern, and we'll do a leprechaun. It's a nice friendly leprechaun and a pot of gold.
Linsey, do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
I do. I am actually first generation American. My dad was born in Ireland.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
So
What about you?
I do a very Americanized version of St. Patrick's Day.
I think most people do.
So your family have some sort of festivities that incorporate the traditional Irish traditions?
No, not really. We don't. It's very Americanized in my family too. Okay, so I'm gonna make each row of these just slightly more difficult. So I'll leave 2 empty here, and on the bottom I think I'll leave 3 empty. I'm gonna make this one just another 2 option pattern, but let's do Irish dancer.
So you're doing all A, B patterns, but you could easily change it and do like A, B, C patterns or really get tricky.
What's nice about this is you're not really set to anything. You can just do it as you please, whatever it is you wanted to do. Since I wanted to increase the amount of options to fill in at the end, I'm leaving it to the AB, because I didn't want to have it be ABC and then leave it empty here. I thought that would be confusing.
That could be tricky.
That could be tricky.
I like the Irish dancer. I like her symbol. So Linsey, whenever I did some research for my activity that you'll see in a few minutes, but I learned a lot of interesting facts about Ireland.
Well, you can't say that and not tell me about the facts, so...
Well, the Irish dancer, she does look a little bit like a fairy. And so I learned that most Irish folks believe that fairies can bring good luck and prosperity and health and wealth to their families.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another step in here, not to interrupt you with it. So this is where I'm going to put the symbols to fill in my pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and type in my options.
Linsey, if you were, let's say, doing this activity in your classroom after you've already completed it, you would print it out. Do you think you'd laminate it, use Velcro or anything like that?
Maybe I would. Yeah, no, I definitely would. I'm actually going to show you what a completed version looks like in just a minute.
All right.
But that's absolutely what I would do with it.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I think you could probably do without the Velcro if you were working on a tabletop or on a desk. And just wanted to slide the pieces back and forth, but the Velcro would add a sense of stability.
I absolutely agree. I actually didn't use Velcro, but if you wanted to use double-sided tape, that would work well as well.
Yeah.
But Velcro is definitely a favorite. Okay, so I'm going to use a little trick here because I want to make sure that there is enough of each option to fill in all of the blanks so that my students have what they need. But I'm also short one column. So what I'm going to do is use my spray tool. And I'm going to use my spray tool just to put out one more column. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this in for Ireland. This is the one I have that is like the land area, like the map. And I'll put that in. And then I want there to be 3 of each one. So I'm going to go ahead and use my spray tool again. and just build each one out.
Oh, nice. So this step saves you from having to go through and retype and reselect symbols in, correct?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. That's a nice time saver trick, Linz.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love stuff that saves time.
Don't we all? I need more things that save time every day. Okay, so I'll center that out so it prints nice. And now I'm done. So I can go ahead and hit save. And I'm going to save this to our online community group, but as we were talking about before, I went ahead and cut out all of my options, so I have those laminated here.
Cool.
And I have my laminated pattern activity, so my students can go ahead and fill out each one with whatever options they need.
That's fantastic.
Thanks.
Awesome.
All right, Allie, on to you.
All right, guys, so the next template that we're using looks a little intimidating and complex when you're just looking at the template. So I want to show you what the completed activity looks like, and then we'll learn to make it. So this is an errorless writing activity. You can see that I've named it Ireland here. And then we have three different topics or categories here. So we've got people, food, and celebration, things I've learned a lot about during my search all over the internet for Ireland facts. So I hit people, like people of Ireland, and then I created each of these available sentences. The learners would select one. Let me share my sound, and then on the next one, you'll hear
celebration. Many people attend church services on both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
So you'll see how we select a category and then select one of the sentences that I added in.
Potatoes are included in most Irish meals.
And then it auto-populates here. Now, you have the ability to edit some of the symbols if you'd like, but then you can print it out, and it looks a lot like a book report when the learner prints it. So it's very simple to interact with. Just looks a little intimidating when you pull the template up.
This is a great activity, Allie, but you're right. It does look like it's going to be hard to program.
It's not hard to program at all, but I just wanted to give you guys a little glimpse because it looks intimidating. But don't worry, it's not. So if we come to this create an activity, we're going to go straight down to the writing here. And it's called choice writing, 3 categories plus 3 sentences. Now there are a few different opportunities available with this template. There's a couple of different ones that give you 5 categories and 5 sentences, just different numbers. I like the 3 categories here just for the sake of time. Okay, so this looks familiar, right? We know what we're working with and what the finished product will look like. Just like Linsey does, I'm going to change my title to Ireland so I know straight where I'm headed. But I can also look at all of my pages that are available to me over here. So this is where we are. This is pop-up number 1 for category number 1. We have pop-up 2 for category 2 and pop-up 3 for category 3. All right, so we come in here on our page. We don't have to do really anything with the top of the board. We do need to change the name of our pages. So for the first pop-up, we name that people. I hit enter, and then I can start finding the symbols for people to add in. So we've got pop-up number 1 for people, pop-up number 2. I picked food for this one. And I hit enter, my symbols for food start populating here. And then you guys know where we're heading. Pop-up number 3 is for celebrations.
Ooh, fun celebration symbols.
No. Okay, so we're cooking with gas here. Now I'll navigate to this first page. So pop-up number 1, this correlates with people. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to fill in a couple of these, and then Linsey's going to probably fast forward through some of them, because they just take a minute to fill in the 6 buttons.
Before we get to that point, Allie, so as the student's writing, they can open the same pop-up multiple times and use several of these as sentence options, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
So I populated 1. I can put symbols in these. I chose not to. Over 6.4 million people live in Ireland. And then actually, let's just move to pop-up number 2. Linsey, have you heard about how much, well, you're Irish. You know how much Irish people like potatoes.
That certainly does.
I love potatoes.
It's true. Growing up with my dad, who was born in Ireland, we had potatoes with dinner every night.
So, Linsey, since your dad is Irish, one of the facts that I read about celebrations in Ireland is that on a child's birthday, the child is picked up, turned upside down, and then their head is tapped to their birthday cake for the number of years that they've been alive for good luck. Do you have a history with this?
No. No, we didn't bring that tradition over. I don't know if he actually had that over there. I'll have to ask him.
I really liked it.
I'll report back in our next webinar.
So I didn't know a ton about Ireland. So what I did just to generate these facts or these sentences to add into the airless writing activity, I really just did like some nice Google searches really quickly to find some information that I was looking for, and then I plugged them in. So just for the sake of time, guys, you'll see I've put in one of these pop-ups, but we have the opportunity to add up to 6 different sentences for each of the pop-ups. But other than that, I mean, we're done.
Now, can I ask a question?
Yeah, totally.
So as you're doing these, it automatically symbolates them in the writing area?
Absolutely. So I clicked on celebration. If I select,
People attend parades and dance to celebrate St. Patrick's Festival.
So it's an airless writing activity that could be completely accessible. So whatever sentence the student clicks on,
People.
they're provided with relevant sentences that automatically populate
Over 6.4 million people live in Ireland.
and symbolate.
And you said you could put symbols in those buttons with the options. You could also make those buttons be symbolate so that the student actually sees the symbolate images as well, correct?
Yes, you could. Within the pop-ups, yes. And then here, what I just did in the message bank is I hid the symbols. So if the symbols don't hold much value for a particular learner, or they're not accustomed to working with symbols, you can absolutely hide them, and then you can bring them back.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. So was it as intimidating or as hard as it looked? No. Okay. Awesome.
You make it look easy, Allie.
Thanks, Linsey. All right. So just like Linsey's patterning activity, this is going to be provided in the AAC for Teens community group. So you don't even have to make it. I've got it in there for you with lots of fun Ireland facts.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. We hope you learned something today. And keep an eye out for our next webinar, but make sure to find these activities in the AAC for Teens Make and Tape group in the Boardmaker Online community.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Bye, everyone.